Once again, brothers and sisters, it is good to be with you on what they would call Sunday evening. I'm your host, the Apostle Reuben of IUPR Bible Radio, podcasting out of Little Rock, Arkansas, to the true saints of the Most High God. Even though it was a rainy Sabbath yesterday, brothers and sisters, we still was able to get, the lesson how we wanted it. We hope you enjoyed it. I've been wanting to go over Jude for a while. But now you see the screen. Lucifer. Now we're going to read this. And then we're going to go back and read it again to a certain point. Because it's something I want you to see. Now it says this. What does Lucifer's name mean? Bearer of light. So bearer of light, a name traditionally in Christianity. See, Christianity uses this. This is the philosophy of Christianity. But let's read on. For the leader of the devils, an angel who was cast from heaven into hell because he rebelled against God. Lucifer is usually identified with Satan. The name Lucifer, which means bearer of light or morning star. But let's stick to what it is, bearer of light. That's what it means, bearer of light. Refers to his former splendor as the greatest of the angels. Oh, would you look at that? Now, all of this is white man's theology. All of it. And see, brothers and sisters, our ignorant pastors, they follow this. They teach the philosophy and theology of the Edomites, which would be the so-called Caucasians today. This here, brothers and sisters, is utter foolishness here. Utter foolishness, what they are saying. We're going to prove it to you. Now we're going to start over. What does Lucifer's name mean? Bearer of light, a name traditionally in Christianity for the leader of the devils, an angel who was cast from heaven into hell because he rebelled against God. Let's check that. Let's look at this. Now we're at Isaiah 14 and 12, but I want to go to the book of, again, see, this is why we do this. 1 Samuel, again. 1 Samuel, chapter 16, verse 14. We're getting straight to the point. 1 Samuel 16:14. But the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul. Again, we're reading this. And an evil spirit is a devil from the Lord troubled him. Now, I want you to notice, it says an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him. Now we're going to read this again. Let's go down to verse 23. Now this is David. Let's look at this. Verse 22. And Saul sent to Jesse, saying, Let David, I pray thee, stand before me, for he hath found favor in my sight. This is Saul speaking. And it came to pass when the evil spirit from God. Notice, brothers and sisters, it's not saying the evil spirit from the devil. You would think that the devil, because remember, let's go back. Now we're going to come back here. Look, it says now, a name traditionally in Christianity for the leader of the devils, an angel who was cast from heaven into hell because he rebelled against God. See, this is what they're saying. He rebelled against God. But let's go back. Up. 1 Samuel 16:23. And it came to pass when the evil spirit from God, not from the devil. It looks like God sent the devil into Saul. God sent the devil into him. An evil spirit is the devil. And it came to pass when the evil spirit from God was upon Saul, that David took an harp and played it with his hand. So Saul was refreshed and was well, and the evil spirit departed from him. So when David played, the evil spirit departed, and the evil spirit was from God. Again, 1 Samuel 18. Watch this. I'm just going to pick it up, 1 Samuel 18:8. And Saul was very wroth, and the saying displeased him. What saying? That David had killed more than Saul. Saul killed thousands, David killed 10,000s. So here's where we're picking it up. And Saul was very wroth, and the saying displeased him. And he said, they have ascribed unto David 10,000s, and to me they have ascribed but thousands. And what can he have more but the kingdom? Look at this. And Saul eyed David from that day and from forward. And it came to pass on the morrow that an evil spirit from God. Notice, where's the devil here? If the devil is the leader of the 1/3, if the devil is the leader of the 1/3, why doesn't it say an evil spirit from Satan? Why doesn't it say that? Because we're coming back here. When you look at Psalms 78, again, Psalm 78, verse 49. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation, and trouble, by sending evil angels among them. Talking about the Egyptians back at the time Moses delivered Egypt. So we see here, look at this verse. Look at this verse. Look at the verse. He is God, the Almighty. Cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation, and trouble, by sending evil angels among them. It looks like here, brothers and sisters, God's in control of evil angels, not Satan. Not Satan. God is in control of evil angels, not Satan. So when you see in the book of 1 Samuel, now we're going back into this for a reason. We see the book of 1 Samuel 18. Verse 9. We're going to read verse 9, then going back into verse 10. 1 Samuel 18:9. And Saul eyed David from that day forward. And it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit, the evil angel from God came upon Saul. Notice, God is controlling the evil angels, not Satan. See, the Christian church, they don't want to read these type of verses because, let me not spoil it. Let me not spoil it. And if they do read them, people don't know how to, they can't, they're so blind, they're so used to just listening to the pastor. One of them may inquire, well, wait a minute. It says an evil spirit from God, but I thought, let's go back down. Lucifer, bearer of light, a name traditionally in Christianity for the leader of the devils, an angel who was cast from heaven into hell because he rebelled against God, leader of the devils. But what you're looking at here, and it came to pass on the morrow that an evil spirit, a devil from God, came upon Saul. Why isn't the devil sending the devil? Because what they're saying is crap, brothers and sisters. They're making up something. This is white theology. Esau is trying to hide himself. See, he hides himself by putting theology about angels out there. That's what he does. But let's keep proving what we're going to prove. 1 Samuel 18:10 again. And it came to pass on the morrow that an evil spirit from God came upon Saul, and he prophesied in the midst of the house. And David played with his hand as at other times. And there was a javelin in Saul's hand. So the javelin. So David was playing, and Saul's just. And Saul cast the javelin. He cast it. For he said, I will smite David even to the wall with it. And David avoided out of his presence twice. See, Saul, David playing, the harp doesn't work anymore. It's not working. That's why it says, and Saul was afraid of David. Why? Because he knew that the Spirit of the Lord was on David now. Saul already knew what happened. He disobeyed the commandment of God by bringing offerings to God from Amalek. God didn't want it. Kill it all. Death. But Saul disobeyed. And ever since, the Holy Spirit went off Saul, and an evil spirit went into Saul and caused him to do these things here. And Saul was afraid of David because the Lord was with him and was departed from Saul. Saul knew the Lord had left him. Saul knew it. But look how he handled it. Instead of praying like David did in Psalms 51, he let it take him over. But let's keep going. Verse after verse. Again, watch this. 1 Samuel 19:8. And there was war again, and David went out and fought with the Philistines and slew them with a great slaughter, and they fled from him. And the evil spirit from the Lord. See, you're going to continue to see the evil spirit come from God. God. Was upon Saul as he sat in his house with the javelin in his hand, and David played with his hand. Watch this. And Saul, he kept calling David back. Even though he tried to kill him, he ordered David to come back and play. David came back and played. Isn't that something? And Saul sought to smite David even to the wall with the javelin, but he slipped away out of Saul's presence. And he smote the javelin into the wall, and David fled and escaped that night. David left his kingdom that night because David knew this is it. It's getting worse and worse. But you got to realize, brothers and sisters, and the devil from the Lord. An evil spirit is a devil. The Lord is controlling devils, and we know it because of 1 Kings. We know it because of 1 Kings 22. Micaiah sees it in a vision. He sees it. Right here. And he said, hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the hosts of heaven are the angels, standing by him on his right hand and on his left. Left hand evil angels, right hand good angels. Both. We don't know what these Christians are talking about. The host, he had some on his right and some on his left. Look at this. And the Lord said to both sides, they're having a council in heaven, God and the angels. And the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up to fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. So they're having a council in heaven. The angel, God asked, who's going to go down there and deceive him? And they start talking. Oh, like a conference. Angels now. God is fed up with Ahab as he was fed up with Saul. So God's now saying, look, who's going to do this? And they're talking about it. But I want you to watch. And there came forth a spirit. A spirit is an angel. An angel. And stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. So an angel of God says, I am going to go persuade him. Watch this. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit. So this angel is going to be a lying angel in the mouth of all his prophets. This angel is going to go down. This angel is going to go down and put a spirit on these men to lie to Ahab to go forth over there so God can kill him. That's why God wants to kill him. So look at this angel. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? How are you going to do it? He says, God on the throne. He says, how are you going to do it? And he said, I will go forth and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail also. So God told this angel, that's going to be good. Whatever you say is going to happen. It's going to happen. That's how we're going to do it. You go down there, you be the lying spirit in the mouth of his prophets, and he's going to believe him, and he's going to go try to get Ramoth Gilead, and he's going to get killed. That's the way I want it. I'm killing a king that I'm sick of, like he did Saul. See, Christians don't want to. They got people in a fairy tale, brothers and sisters. White Christianity. That's why we say it's a deception. You have to snap out of it with prayer. Watch this. Now, therefore, behold, the angel didn't go himself and put the spirit of the spirit of lying on these men. God sent him. That's why it says, now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all thy prophets, and the Lord has spoken evil concerning thee. And brothers and sisters, you know that the Kings and the Chronicles, basically they have the same story. But there's a couple of verses I want you to take a look at. I want you to take a look at 2 Samuel. Now, I'm not going to go that deep into this, but I want to go to 2 Samuel 24, verse 1. Watch this. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he moved David against them to say, go, number Israel and Judah. Now, go number Israel and Judah. Because God was angry with Israel, he moved David the king to go number the children of Israel, which God told them not to do. Do not number the people. But I want you to take a look. This is 2 Samuel 24 and 1. The same story is going to be found in 1 Chronicles 21 and 1. I want to show you the difference. 1 Chronicles 21, verse 1. Look at this. And Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel. Same thing. But look what it says now. It says, and Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel. Now we're going to go back. Watch this. Look, I want to show you what's going on. 1 Samuel 24. Now 2 Samuel 24. Now you see this, right? Verse 1. I want you to pay close attention because I'm just going to show you something real quick. Now, it says, and again the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he moved David against them to say, go number Israel and Judah. Go number Israel and Judah. But when you look in the Chronicles, and Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel. One says God, one says Satan. Why? Because anything, every time, I'll say it like this, every time Israel sins against God, God sends evil angels among them, whether it be in the form, and you're going to see, You are going to see. But what I want you to see is, and Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel. Now, Satan stood up. Now, let's drop down and see what happened. Now, remember, let's look. It says, now, David is going to get the penalty here. We're picking it up with the penalty, and it's going to be told to him by Gad the seer. Gad is David's prophet. So let's pick it up in verse 11. So Gad came to David and said unto him, Thus saith the Lord, choose thee either 3 years famine, or 3 months be destroyed before thy foes. A lot of your army is going to get killed. Prepare yourself. While that the sword of thine enemies overtake thee, or else 3 days the sword of the Lord. The sword of the Lord. Now, you could be punished by God. Now, you could choose 3 months of famine. Well, crops won't grow. You're going to have to struggle through it. Some people are going to die. Or you're going to have a lot of people die by the sword. Or I'm going to make it fast for you. In 3 days, the sword of the Lord, my sword, is going to come upon you. Either way, you're going to have to pay for this. I'm going to make the people pay. This is what you're seeing. Or else 3 days, the sword of the Lord, even the pestilence in the land, and the angel of the Lord destroying throughout all the coasts of Israel. Look what he sent. The angel of the Lord destroying throughout all the coast of Israel. Now therefore advise thyself, what word shall I bring again to him that sent me? What you going to send back with me? Because I got to go talk to the Lord. What you want? Which one of these things you want? David's in the straits. Watch. And David said unto Gad, I am in a great strait. Woo! Boy, look at that. He's thinking. He got his head down his hand. Death is about to happen no matter what. Let me fall now into the hand of the Lord. He chose the 3 days pestilence. For very great are his mercies. But let me not fall into the hand of man. Watch this. So the Lord sent pestilence upon Israel, and there fell of Israel 70,000 men. And God sent an angel unto Jerusalem to destroy it. What angel do you think he sent? Satan. Brothers and sisters, we so out of whack. Caucasian theology is completely taking us out of. See, that's why you have to read the book. They're not reading the book in Sunday church. They're not. And God sent an angel unto Jerusalem to destroy it. And he was destroying. The Lord beheld. As he destroyed, the Lord looked. And it repented him of his evil. As they were getting killed, the Lord said, die. Every time the angel sliced one of them open, God looked upon it. He just looked and saw it. Said, They don't talk about this in Christian church. Oh, God is good. God is good. God is watching the devil kill. Because he ordered him to. And it repented him of his evil. He changed and said unto the angel that destroyed, that was killing, it is enough. Stay now thine hand. And the angel of the Lord stood by the threshing floor of Ornan, the Jebusite. Look at that. When Satan stood up against them, he moved David by the hand of God to number the children of Israel. And when David did, God sent Satan right back to him. Right back to him. And killed all them people. God is giving the order for evil to happen. When it says he repented him of his evil, what you mean evil? The evil angel he sent, which was the devil. In other words, brothers and sisters, what is the war? God is controlling the devil. The devil isn't making his own moves. God is controlling him. No better example than Job. If you can't see, let's get the book of Job, chapter 1. And we're just going to do a little reading. Let's look at this. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord. Present themselves. And Satan came also among them. So when the sons of God came, Satan was around them. He was around these sons. And the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth. That's where he's at. He's not below the ground or nothing. He's going to and fro. There's no punishment on Satan. Satan moves throughout the earth, to and fro, and walking up, down in it, up and down in it. I'm up in the top of the kingdoms and I'm down in the ground where the drugs are. Everywhere. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, a law keeper. That's what he was. Perfect and upright. He was a law keeper. An upright man is a law keeper. That's why it says, and this is why when you define upright, it helps. Psalms 18. That's define upright. Christians don't want to do that. They don't want to define what they read, and that's why no one will ever know. The book of Psalms 18:22. For all his judgments were before me, and I did not put away his statutes from me, his laws. I was also upright before him. I kept myself from mine iniquity. Look, the judgments were before David, and he did not put away the laws from himself. He was upright before him. And I kept myself from mine iniquity. That means I did not sin. See, when you're upright, you're not committing sin. When you're upright, you're keeping the law. Simple as that. An upright man is a law keeper. You have to define it. Christians, they don't define what they read. The first thing we need to know is what is an upright man, and how does a man become upright? David writes again, I will praise thee with uprightness of heart, when I shall have learned thy righteous judgments. I will praise you with uprightness of heart, uprightness of my heart, when I shall have learned thy laws. When I learn their laws, I can praise you with uprightness. That is what this verse is saying. So to be upright, it's going to be in the law. And again, just for one more, the book of 1 Kings, I always forget about this. This could be the one that just ends it all right here. 1 Kings 9 and 4. This is Solomon now, as you can see, 1 Kings. And if thou walk before me as David thy father walked, in integrity of heart, in uprightness, to do according to all that I have commanded thee, and will keep my statutes and my judgments. Let's do this again, because I butchered it the first time. Because I was going to try to make a point with it, but I stuttered. Okay, and if thou will walk before me, as David thy father walked, in integrity of heart and uprightness, to do according to all that I have commanded thee, and will keep my statutes and my judgments. So uprightness is a keeping law. Law, upright. That's why Job being upright, because he kept law. You can't be upright without the law. Christians got to show you that. They can't. We know upright is found in the New Testament one time. And it's found in Galatians chapter 2:14. It's not a New Testament word that could be sprinkled and pushed everywhere. You got to go to the Old Testament to know it. Upright. So if we're using upright, let's go back to the book of Job. The book of Job, chapter 1. Verse 7. And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord, and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job? There is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man. He was a lawkeeper, one that feareth God and escheweth evil. And Satan answered the Lord and said, Doth Job fear God for naught? Does he fear him for nothing? Does he fear you for nothing? Has not thou made an hedge about him? That means the devil can't touch him. If he wanted to, the hedge, God, Satan cannot do anything God doesn't want him to do. There's no war here, folk. Satan is not going against God in these verses. He's not. We're not seeing that. Has not thou made a hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and substance is increased in the land. In the land, wherever he is, it's increased. But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. So you, watch. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Now God gives Satan permission to go to do what he's going to do to Job. Where is the war? I thought Satan was against God. He would just seem he look like he can go to heaven and go to war with. No. Satan tells God, but put forth thine hand now. Who would be his hand? Satan. Satan. That's who would be his hand. And touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power, because Satan is the Lord's hand. Whenever the Lord wants to send an evil angel to a people, he can do that. He's all powerful. There was no such thing as his creation warring against him. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. Satan couldn't wait for something to do. He went from the presence of the Lord. Whew, gone. Time to get him. Now what happened? Watch this. And there was a day when the sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And there came a messenger and told Job and said, The oxen were plowing and the asses feeding beside them. And the Sabians fell upon them and took them away. Yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. So the Sabians, look, the devil used men. The devil used men to commit this act. Satan's hand was through man. Satan didn't go himself this time. See, the first time when we read in 1 Chronicles 21 about the devil going through and killing, it wasn't like that, brothers and sisters. It was a pestilence. The devil moved in a pestilence. A sickness could have happened. A lot of people could have got sick, and just died. That's how the devil moved, in a pestilence. It wasn't like he went up and then just physically just chop. No, it was in a pestilent form. When you look here, and there came a messenger unto Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the asses feeding beside them. Now watch this. And the Sabians fell upon them and took them away. They fell upon all the oxen and sheep. They just came one day, and the Sabians just came and just took Job's oxen and slain his servants. His servants tried to fight for them, killed them with the edge of the sword. And only one man came to tell Job, or I should say escaped to tell him. So what you need to realize, brothers and sisters, is that the devil, by God's order, can go into a people and cause them to do evil things. Remember that. You have to remember that. But what we want you to see in this podcast episode is the devil and God are not warring. They're not warring at all. God controls Satan with every move he wants to make. Satan has nothing to say about it. He just does it. Watch this. Let's go to Job 2. Go by what you're reading. Watch this. Again, Job 2:1. And again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord. He comes, he's an angel. Now, this is supposed to be the leader of the angels now. He comes right up to God. Thought he was kicked out of heaven. Looks like he's able to go before God's face. Where is this they're talking about? And the Lord said unto Satan, from whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth God, and one that escheweth evil? And still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him. You, Satan, moved me against my servant Job. Meaning, what happened to Job is from me, even though I sent you to do it. You. I sent you to terrorize Job. You moved me to destroy him without cause. You're making me hurt him. But watch this. Here is Satan again. And Satan answered the Lord and said, skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath he will give for his life. Now, but put forth thine hand now. Who is his hand? Satan. And touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. So Job and God have said, look, this man is going to curse you. Once you send me with the calamity, watch him curse you. That's what's happening. And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, he is in thine hand. I'm giving him to you again, Satan. But save his life. Don't kill him. Look at that. I know you guys are reading this. God and Satan. Go, Satan. You're my hand. I control you. You can go down there and get him. Let's see what happens. So when Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord and smote him with sore boils from the sole of his foot to his crown, to the top of his head. Job's sick now. Satan's went into him and made him sick. Job hasn't done anything. But look what's happening to him. Point is, brothers and sisters, where is this war between God and Satan? You see it? Have you seen it? A name traditionally in Christianity for leader of the devils. Leader. An angel who was cast from heaven into hell because he rebelled against God. But have you saw that? Have you saw it? Did you see that? God had evil angels up there with him. The devil was to and fro on the earth. The devil wasn't in hell. The devil was not. And the Lord said unto Satan, from whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth. He didn't say hell. Did you read hell? No. He's on the earth with us, able to go at the order of God. And from walking up and down in it. Looks like he's in hell to me. Looks like he's on the earth. Walking up in the kingdoms and down in the kingdoms. Freely. Now, let's go to Psalms 109 once again. I want you to notice this. Psalms 109 verse 2. It says, for the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are open against me. They have spoken against me with a lying tongue. They compassed me about also with words of hatred and fought against me without a cause. See, this is what's going on. For my love, they are my adversaries, enemies now. But I give myself unto prayer. We pray, brothers and sisters. We pray even though the wicked is around. Esau is the wicked. Watch this. And they have rewarded me evil for good. And the hatred for my love. See, it was evil for good and hatred for my love. But pay attention. Set thou a wicked man over him. Wicked man over him. This evil. This other wicked. And let Satan stand at his right hand. So what you're going to find out, brothers and sisters, is Satan is the power of the wicked. Satan is at the right hand, which is the power of the wicked. Satan is at the right hand of the wicked. Satan is at the right hand of the wicked. Well, who is Satan's hand at the right? Who is set thou a wicked man over him, and let Satan stand at his right hand. So Satan is going to stand at the right hand of a wicked man. Psalms 119 verse 53. Horror has taken hold upon me because of the wicked that forsake thy law. That's who's at the right hand of who Satan is at the right hand of. Satan is at the right hand. Let me say it right. Satan is at the right hand of those that forsake the law. Satan is at the right hand of men that forsake the law. So those that forsake God's law, Satan is their power. He's at the right hand of those that forsake the law. Notice it. Understand that. He went with the Sabians when he took Job's flocks. He was with the Sabians. The power of Satan was with the Sabians, a nation of men. And we're seeing here, horror has taken hold upon me. Look at this. Horror hath taken hold upon me because of the wicked that forsake thy law. So the wicked forsake the law. The wicked forsake the law. Set thou a wicked man over him. Who is a wicked man? Those that forsake the law, and let Satan stand at his right hand. So again, Satan is at the right hand, which is the power of those that forsake the law. Remember that. Remember that. What this is saying, brothers and sisters, is right here. See, we think people have tried to, and we know Esau has tried to hide himself Esau has tried to hide himself, and so we can't see him. And watch this. Let's do this. 1 John 3. Let's go up to 1 John 3 and 8. Pay attention. 1 John 3 and 8. Now, the Christian churches never go here, but let's look. He that committed sin. Let's now. We're not playing with him. 1 John 3 and 4. Whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is transgression of the law. So Christians, sin is transgression of the law. Let's drop down. He that committed sin which is transgression of the law is of the devil, because the devil, that's when you transgress the law, the devil is with you. If you transgress God's law, you are of Satan. That's the devil. For the devil sinneth from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil from the beginning. Because he used that same spirit that God controls was in the garden as a man then. He was in man then. Man deceived Eve. Man deceived Eve out of life. Let me show you. Let me look. We're going to come back here. Let's look at Luke 20 real quick, verse 36. Luke 20, 36. I'm thinking here. Luke 20, verse 36. Oh, let's do this. Luke 20, 35. But they which shall be accounted worthy to obtain that world, worthy, in the resurrection from the dead, neither marry nor are given in marriage. Neither can they die any more, for they are equal unto the angels, and are the children of God, being the children of the resurrection. I want you to notice, neither can they die any more, for they are equal unto the angels, meaning the angels can not die. That's what Christ just told you. Angels don't die. That's why it says neither can they die anymore, for they are equal to the angels, meaning angels, they don't die. So why did God say this in the book of Genesis? Chapter 3, verse 14. I want you to pay attention to this. You got to look at the details. Why did God say this to the serpent? And the Lord God said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all the cattle, and above every beast of the field. Remember, the beast of the field, the fowl of the air. This serpent was from the beast of the field. People were around, brothers and sisters. And upon thy belly thou shalt go, and dust shall thou eat all the days of thy life, meaning this serpent died. All the days of thy life means he's going to die. He was a man. But the spirit that deceived Eve, some angel, no. All the dust shall thou eat all the days of thy life, meaning his life would end. He was a man in the garden when he deceived. So that spirit went into a man to deceive Adam and Eve. All the days of thy life, meaning the serpent would die. He wasn't an angel. Again. Let's go back. 1 John. Three. Verse 8. He that committeth sin is of the devil, for the devil sinneth from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil, because the works of the devil are going to come through man. Watch this. Whosoever is born of God does not commit sin. So when you're born again, you won't sin. For his seed, which is his word, Luke 8:11, remaineth in him. He cannot sin because he is born of God. In this the children of God are manifest. Those that don't sin, they're the children that are manifest. And the children of the devil. So the devil has children. The devil has children. Children. children, and they're not the other angels. No, the devil that has children are men, a race. A race is the devil. Whosoever doeth not righteousness, which is keep the law, is not of God, neither he that loveth not his brother. We want you to pay attention. Back here one more time, and let's read this. Because I want to get this straight. And I know it's been a while since I went over this. But, if you go and scroll, some of these podcast episodes, brothers and sisters, they was probably done. I probably done this podcast episode last year or a year and a half ago. So we've got over 1,200 videos. So if you're scrolling through the archives, you may never find it. So I have to do it again to keep it fresh. We did this before, but it was long ago. So we're coming back out with it. Now again, what does Lucifer's name mean? Bearer of light. A name traditionally in Christianity for the leader of the devils. Now, leader of the devils. An angel who was cast from heaven to hell because he rebelled against God. You see that? See what they think that is? But have you saw that? No, you haven't. Now let's go and look and see what it's based off of. Then we'll move on. Because they think Lucifer identifies with Satan. But here it is. Now, you've seen how we've read, brothers and sisters, it's going to all come together. We make sure it comes together for you. Now let's start. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation? So, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? This is light bearer. Remember, bearer of light. But I want you to look at this. If you're going by the context, brothers and sisters, we're going to look at the context in verse 5. All of this is together. Christians try to split it up, but it's not. And the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked, and the scepter of rulers. Now, he's talking about the wicked. The wicked now. The wicked. Because we got to go right back. We got to go over Isaiah 14, all of it. This is about the wicked. And when you go to, he's calling the wicked Lucifer, bearer of light. He's calling the wicked a bearer of light. That's who this is. If you need to know that when we start up, watch this. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations with anger. The nations. He ruled nations in anger and persecuted, and none hindereth. This is the wicked. So he's talking about the wicked here, and he calls the wicked Lucifer, which means a bearer of light. So the wicked have a light. It's been saying it all along, brothers and sisters, in the book of Job. Pay attention. The book of Job, chapter 18. Verse 3. Wherefore we are counted as beasts, and reputed vile in your sight. He teareth himself in his anger. Shall the earth be forsaken for thee, and shall the rock be removed out of its place? Look at this. Yea, the light of the wicked. The light. Now, brothers and sisters, isn't that something? The wicked have a light. The wicked have a light. And that, see, you got to think about that. The wicked have the light. Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle, which is light, shall be put out with him. So understanding that the wicked have a light. Let's keep our eyes on the parable here. The book of Proverbs. Watch this, Proverbs chapter 13. Notice this wicked has a light. Proverbs 13:9. The light of the righteous rejoices. So the lawkeeper, the righteous is the lawkeeper, but the light of the sinner shall be put out. So the wicked have a light. The wicked are the sinners of the earth, men. The wicked are men. The wicked are men. Proverbs 24. I want you to notice, men, why is God calling them? Watch this. For there shall be no reward to the evil man. Look, evil man. Man, the candle of the wicked, which was man, the candle of the wicked, which was man, shall be put out. So notice the man, the evil man, the wicked man has a candle. He bears a light. We're going to make sure you understand this as we read on down in Isaiah 14. Let's go back. We just wanted to show you that the wicked has a light. The book of Isaiah, the wicked have a light now. This lets you know, for there shall be no reward. The evil reward for an evil man. He's not going to get the kingdom. The candle of the wicked, which is the evil man, shall be put out. Now, let's go to Isaiah chapter 14 and 12. It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? So, bearer of light, son of the morning. How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? Now, I want y'all to notice this. Christians have this, and we've been telling you all along. Be familiar with heaven. Know what you're talking about when you're talking about heaven. And they don't. They never explain these things to you. Now we're going to go straight to it because I want to get into it. Paul says, I knew such a man, whether in the body or out of the body, I cannot tell. God knoweth. How he was caught up in a vision, not actually. I'm sorry, brothers and sisters. 1 Timothy 6. Let me show you that it was a vision, because when you look at 1 Timothy, because a lot of people think, well, Paul just went up to the. No, he did not. 1 Timothy 6. We're going to show you is no way Paul went. It was a vision. That's why he didn't know whether it was in the body or out of the body. 1 Timothy 6:15. Which in his times he shall show, who is the blessed and only potentate, the King of kings, Lord of lords, who only hath immortality, dwelling in the light which no man can approach unto. No man can go where God is. No man can go where Christ is. No man can go where they are, whom no man has seen, nor can see. No man can see this. No man can go to heaven. No man. To whom be honor and glory and power everlasting. Why do you think Christ said in John? See, they skipped this one. They always like to go to John 3:16, but John 3:13. That's why Christ said this. And no man hath ascended up to heaven. No man has ever ascended up to heaven. And no man has ascended up to heaven, but he who came down from heaven, even the Son of Man which is in heaven. No man has gone up to heaven. No man has ever even seen heaven. I'm from heaven. That's how I know. But no man has ever gone up to heaven or ascended up to heaven. No. It would be in a vision. They could, in a vision, like Micaiah had. Micaiah had a vision of heaven, and so did Paul. So let's go back to 2 Corinthians. Got these people believing. Oh, because Got to read the Bible, brothers and sisters. It's important to read the Bible because this picture will always look better than this picture. These are the people right here that believe when I get to heaven, when I die, I'm going up there to the by and by and be with the Lord. The by and by. No. See, this is what's in these churches. And when your old grandpa or grandma or auntie come and when I go to heaven, they're rocking out there sitting with a smile on their face in the summertime. Blocked. They have been blocked from God's word. They don't know it. Can't figure it out. It's too late. Never spent any of their time on it as they were young. So let's go back. 2 Corinthians 12:3. And I knew such a man, whether it be in the body or out of the body. He didn't know. I cannot tell, God knoweth. It was a vision. How that he was caught up unto paradise and heard unspeakable words, which it is not lawful for a man to utter. But I want to go back here. I don't know. I went to verse 3, but I need to go to verse 2. I knew something looked strange. Verse 2. I knew a man in Christ above 14 years ago, whether in the body I cannot tell, or whether out of the body I cannot tell. God knoweth. Such and one caught up to the third heaven. Third. There's three. There's three. Three heavens. Not one, but three. And this is based off 1 Kings. This is, again, based off 1 Kings. I need to slow down here. 1 Kings 8. Verse 27. Here it is. I just wanted to get to the point. It says, but will God indeed dwell on earth? Question. Behold, the heaven and heaven of heavens, that's three, cannot contain thee. Even those places God dwells now out of time, it can barely contain him. Y'all, we don't know, brothers and sisters, what's going on here, but we will know in that day. Keep the law. That's all you have to do, and love your neighbor as yourself. But will God indeed dwell on earth? Behold, the heaven and heaven of heavens, that's three, cannot contain thee. How much less this house that I have built. So they knew it was three heavens. It always has been. So I want you to go to Genesis with me. Genesis 14. And I just want to read this one verse. I'm not going to go over this all the way, but I want to read this one verse. I guess two. Genesis 14:18. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. Let me read that again. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. And he blessed him and said, blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. Now, is Abraham possessor of God's throne in the earth? Or does this heaven mean something else? You got to understand the heaven. There's three of them. There's three. And Abraham is the possessor of one of those heavens and earth. So let's take a look at the heaven this is talking about in Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 11. We're going to take a look. What is this heaven? Deuteronomy 11:18. We're just going to read on down. It says, therefore shall ye lay up these my words in your heart and in your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall teach them your children, speaking of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt write them upon the doorposts of thine house, and upon thy gates, that your days may be multiplied, and the days of your children, in the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers to give them, as the days of heaven upon the earth. There is the heaven. He promised Abraham. Heaven upon the earth. Now, as we read the next verses, you're going to see what this heaven is that is upon the earth. What is this heaven upon the earth for Israel if they keep the law? Because if they keep the law, let's read this again, that your days may be multiplied, and the days of your children, in the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers to give them, as the days of heaven upon the earth. Because God promised Abraham, his seed, he was the possessor of heaven and earth. So let's look at this heaven. If you keep my law, it'll be like the days of heaven upon the earth. Watch this. For if ye shall diligently keep all these commandments, which I command you to do them, to love the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways, and to cleave unto him, the Lord will drive, then will the Lord drive all these nations from before you, and you shall possess greater nations and mightier than yourselves. So your heaven upon earth would be when you possess nations. Come on now. When you have heaven upon earth, you possess nations. Which means heaven was power. Power. That your days may be multiplied, and the days of your children, in the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers to give them, as the days of heaven, heaven upon the earth, heaven upon the earth. See, we know because remember, Psalms 89. I'm just going to read this Psalms 89. We're showing you again. Psalms 89. This is talking about, watch what David writes. My mercy will I keep for him forevermore, and my covenant shall stand fast with him. His seed also will I make to endure forever, and his throne, see, throne, pay attention, his kingdom as the days of heaven. See, heaven is a kingdom. His throne as the days of heaven. Days of heaven. Understand. Watch the days of heaven. If his children forsake my law and walk not in my judgments. Watch this. Watch this. If they break my statutes and keep not my commandments, then I will visit their transgression with a rod and their iniquity with stripes. But notice, look at this. His seed also will I make to endure forever, and his throne as the days of heaven. So heaven, the possessor of heaven, is a throne, kingdom. You have to understand that. Kingdom. His throne is the days of heaven. That's heaven. Heaven is the throne. Rulership. Kingdom over all nations. And you're going to see it. See the days of heaven? Days of heaven. Days. Heaven was days. That's why that old song, Who Knew Heaven Was a Place on Earth? Why do you think that song is, what do you think that song is talking about? Who knew heaven was a place on earth? It was. Throne, rulership, days of heaven. We know that the place God dwells has no days. God dwells outside of time, not in time. So when we go back to Deuteronomy, see, brothers and sisters, Christianity, you got to go deep in order to defeat, because Satan, let's just go through it. Here it is. that your day, if you keep the law, your days may be multiplied in the days of your children, and the land which the Lord swore unto your fathers to give them, as the days of heaven upon the earth. There it is, the days of heaven upon the earth. And what comes with that? Now, let me read this. Let me go back and do it again. That your days may be multiplied, and the days of your children. Now, your days may be multiplied in the days of your children, in the land which the Lord swore unto your fathers to give them, as the days of heaven upon earth. Days of heaven. Heaven. This is your heaven. This is heaven now. For you shall diligently keep all these commandments, which I command you to do them, to love the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways, and to cleave unto him. Then the Lord will drive out all these nations from before you, and ye shall possess greater nations that are, where does that come from? And ye shall possess, own, they will be your slaves, greater nations, and mightier than yourselves, mightier than you, bigger nations. Every place whereon the soles of your feet shall tread shall be yours. Every place you go. So this is heaven. If Israelites kept the law, if our forefathers kept the law, it would have been heaven. They had heaven. Heaven was when they ruled over the nations. Every place whereon the soles of your feet shall tread shall be yours. From the wilderness and Lebanon, from the river Euphrates, even to the uttermost sea shall your coast be. If you keep my law, you will be in the days of heaven. Why do you think Christ called it? Christ called it down by the line. Matthew chapter 11. Then we're going to go back. Matthew chapter 11, verse 12. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence. Who is the kingdom of heaven? Israel. Israel was the kingdom of the Lord. It suffereth violence. Who did it suffer violence from? Who did it suffer violence from? Edom, the white man. That's who made it suffer. That's who made it violent. Them. The kingdom suffereth violence from these men right here and their people. Over and over, the Bible calls Israel the kingdom of heaven because they were the possessors of heaven and earth through Abram. From the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven, which was Israel, suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. Israel was always the kingdom of the Lord, the kingdom of heaven. Israel was always the kingdom of the Lord. 1 Chronicles 28. Verse 5. And of all my sons, for the Lord hath given me many sons, he hath chosen Solomon, my son, to sit upon the throne of the kingdom of the Lord over Israel. The kingdom of the Lord is Israel. The kingdom of the Lord is Israel. Israel is his kingdom. Let's get the book of Leviticus. Let's stick with this heaven. Leviticus 26. I'm going to read some more. Leviticus 26. I don't want to read all this, but well, I'm just going to get to the point. Leviticus 26:18. And if ye will not hear, and if ye will not yet for all this hearken unto me. Sorry about that, brothers and sisters. Then I will punish you 7 times more for your sins. So if you don't hear my commandments, I'm going to punish you 7 times more. And will break the pride of your power. And I will make your heaven as iron, and your earth as brass. So if you break my law, your heaven that you have your power, heaven, power. I will break the pride of your power, and I will make your heaven, because you are the possessor of heaven. You ruled all the nations. With David and Solomon, they ruled over every nation. That was the heaven. But God is saying, and I will break the pride of your power, and I will make your heaven as iron, and your earth as brass. See, your earth, heaven and earth. Heaven, earth. Because that's what they were the possessors of heaven and earth from Abraham. So how did this happen? Let's look at this. Lamentations 2, verse 1. Look at this now. How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel. Do you see that? And cast down from heaven. He warned them if they broke the law, he would make their heaven iron and their earth brass. Notice, how hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with the cloud of his anger, and has cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger. Let's go back. Watch this. I'm just going back here real quick. The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, real quick. We're going to come back. I'm just making this where you can see it very, very quickly. I'm making it where you can see it. Isaiah 14 and 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning, as they would call it, or light bearer? Son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation? So when it says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, did he fall from the third heaven, or did he fall from power, rulership? You're going to find out that this heaven he fell from was rulership, because this is talking about the wicked. This is not talking about an angel. It's talking about a man, and you're going to see it. See, Christianity is built up off of what different types of thoughts. And what they do, they bring these movies like The Hobbit, Harry Potter, and all these sorcerer movies around. And what people do is they look at those movies and think, well, that's how it is on the outside world. No. When I mean the outside world, I mean what you can't see, the spirits and all of that. So look at this. This is how we build the minds of the people to believe. So when we come to church and see verses like this, they don't think of this Lucifer being a man. They made him an angel in order to hide themselves. And we're going to prove to you, we're going to prove to you, brothers and sisters, is this Lucifer that fell from heaven is talking about the wicked. The wicked in verse 5 was called the light bearer, Lucifer, not an angel. The wicked was called the light bearer. You saw no verse in this Bible where Satan went against God. You didn't see it. You did not see that. Satan did what God told him. Meaning, when you look at stories like this is theology that is meant to deceive. Bearer of light, a name traditional in Christianity, not the Bible. Christianity. Notice, because Christianity is not about the Bible. Christianity is about theology. For the leader of the devils, an angel who was cast from heaven into hell because he rebelled against God. What? Because he rebelled against God, an angel. He was, but you saw it in Job 1 and Job 2. Job 2 and 1. I think Job 1 and 7, 6. Job was walking to and fro in the earth. He wasn't in no hell. Did you see that? In case you didn't. And the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth. Not hell, earth. And from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, from whence comest thou? Again. And Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. He's not in hell. Neither is the 1/3 that they claim he took. These Christians, see, Christianity is built to deceive. It is the false prophet. They just make up stories because Esau is trying to hide himself. He doesn't want you to know that the devil is a people. The devil's work is going to come through a man. It's going to happen. And you're going to see. Watch Isaiah 14. Verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? He's talking about the wicked, the bearer of light. Remember, this parable is not concerning an angel. This parable, the Lord has broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. The context never went off the wicked, but they want you to think it did. No, he's talking about the wicked, the sinners, those that break God's law. And the white man, Esau, knows he is the top in murder, death, pestilence. He knows it, but he's trying to hide him. He hides himself by changing doctrine like this. How art thou fallen from heaven, Lucifer? Now Lucifer in the wicked, he's an angel. These are the things they do. And you have these middle-aged white men and up. Oh, when Lucifer fell down from heaven, he was cut down out of heaven, cut down out of the sky, Lucifer. No. The wicked was the bearer of light. He was Lucifer. How art thou fallen from heaven? Which heaven did he fall from? Watch. O son of the morning. Why is he called son of the morning? Let's go to Michael. Why is he called son of the morning? Michael 2 in verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. So the morning was the power. Notice the morning was his power. That's why he was called son of the morning. He had power. And they covered fields and take them by violence. And houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Who has done this, brothers and sisters? Which man can you see today that has done this? No, man, we ain't got to play this game. They know if we did it by the way it was supposed to be done, you could see that this is Lucifer right here. This is Lucifer, not an angel. He is Lucifer. This man, the Caucasian. This is who it's talking about. This. It doesn't matter. Same people. From old to now. Same people. And they covered fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. That's the morning. That's what it means. The morning, when it says, woe unto them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds, when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. Power, the morning. That's why he's the son of the morning, because he had power. Pay attention to this, Isaiah. But y'all got to see. These things can be explained with other verses. That's what the morning meant. He had the power. Watch. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Now, I want to go back to Lamentations, because I want you to notice. Lamentations 2, verse 1 again. How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with the cloud of his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger. Israel was cast down from heaven. That was rulership over the nations because of their sins. See, cast down from heaven. Did God really cast Israel from the third heaven? No, he cast them out of power. That was the heaven. Abraham was supposedly, through his children, if they kept the law, sustain heaven and earth. We keep telling you this heaven is power. That's why, again, in Leviticus, making sure you understand this. It doesn't change. You have to understand what the Bible says, precept upon precept. If you don't, you're going to be stuck. Watch this. And I will break the pride of your power. Power. And I will make your heaven. The heaven was the power. I will make your heaven as iron and your earth as brass. See, it says heaven and earth. Abraham was possessor of heaven and earth. But if we broke the law, God would break the pride of our power, and he would make our heaven, which we possess, iron, and our earth we possess brass, which means we will go into captivity. What this means when he says, I will make your heaven iron and your earth brass, what does it mean when it says, I will make your heaven as iron and your earth as brass? Back to Lamentations 2 and 1. Let me show you how he did it. Lamentations 2 and verse 1. How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud of his anger, and hath cast down from heaven, he took the power from Israel, unto the earth, the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger. Look at this. The Lord hath swallowed up all the habitations of Jacob, and hath not pity. He hath thrown down in his wrath the strongholds of the daughter of Judah. He hath brought them down to the ground. When it says down to the ground, he took their power. Notice, he hath brought them down to the ground. He hath polluted the kingdom and the princes thereof. So when he brought them to the ground, what happens? He took their power and they went to the ground. It's the same thing as saying in verse 1. So when we go back to Isaiah, remember this, to the ground. Isaiah 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Fallen from heaven was power, O Lucifer. That's the wicked, the light bearer, the wicked, the bearer light, son of the morning, because he had power. How art thou cut down to the ground, like you saw in Lamentations 2 and 2? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? The wicked that led the nations, they fell from heaven, rulership. This isn't talking about a demon or a spirit falling from the third heaven. This is talking about men falling from heaven. It's about wicked. He was the bearer of light. We read it 3 times. Job 18 and 5, Proverbs 13 and 9, and Proverbs 24 and 20. The wicked with the light. When he was cut down to the ground, his power was taken away, which didst weaken the nations. Watch. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. Wait a minute. I will ascend into heaven. Which heaven? And I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. Let's see. I will, not above God. It didn't say he would exalt his throne above God's throne. He says, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. Stars. Who are those stars? The book of Genesis. See, the book of Genesis, chapter 37. Who are these stars? Genesis 37:9. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more, and behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. Who are those stars? The tribes, the sons. Here's where we see the children of Israel, because it's going to say it. Remember, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. Stars. The stars were the brothers of the tribes. And he told it to his father and to his brethren. And his father rebuked him and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother, was the sun and the moon, and thy brethren, the stars, indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee, to the earth? So those 11 stars were his brethren, and he was the 12th star, making the sons of God, which were the 12 tribes of Jacob himself, stars. They were the stars. That's why Revelation 11. No, it's not Revelation 11. It's Revelation 12. Sorry about that. My notes were wrong. Got to correct that. Revelation 12:1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven. A woman clothed with the sun and the moon. You just saw that in Genesis 37:9. And under her feet and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. That is the 12 tribes of Israel. The stars were Israelites, not angels. They want you to think those stars are angels. No, those stars are Israelites. That's why it says in, again, Daniel chapter 8, these Christians, man, they want to try to hide themselves. They don't want you to think this is man, but you're going to see it's man. Daniel 8:10. Watch this. And it waxed great, even to the host of heaven. The host of heaven was what? The host of heaven was Israel. They're the ones with the heaven. And cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground. Now we know that this Grecian king isn't reaching up into the sky grabbing stars that is 8 times bigger than the earth and casting them to the earth. You got to understand parable talk. The stars that he cast to the ground were the Jews. This is talking about the king of Grecia waxing great and casting some of the stars to the ground and stamped upon them in war. Those stars he cast to the ground was southern kingdom. That's why they left out the book of the Maccabees, so you couldn't see it. And the other parts of the Apocrypha, even though we don't teach from the Apocrypha, we believe in it. But we're showing you. See, when y'all leave other books, let me tell you something. I be seeing comments on other books, but if you can't tie those books together with this book, it doesn't matter. I could take the Apocrypha, which is a dagger, and really kill it. But you know what they'll do? They'll discredit all my work because I'm using the Apocrypha. And these Christians are simple enough to believe that. Now, I know I have an Apocrypha. I know, but I challenged myself. I said, you know what? I'm going to use the 66 and tear them down. And it's working. I can use it. I'm showing you. You think we have to have the Apocrypha to defeat you? No. We don't need, if I decide to use the Apocrypha, it really would be deadly. And I have mine sitting here, but I'm going to show you Christians that we can do it on a level you've never seen with the 66. Because I tie all of it together. It's not just 1 or 2 verses. We're going to read 50 or more in the podcast episode. And I know this, and it waxed great, the king of Grecia, even to the hosts of heaven. It cast down some of the host, and of the stars. This is parable writing to the ground and stepped upon him. The stars he cast to the ground were the Jews, the southern kingdom. So the stars of God were the Israelites. That's who the stars of God was. They want you to think that, again, those stars were angels. No, they were Israelites. Watch. Let's go back to Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14. Verse 4, Isaiah 14:13. For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. What heaven? Was it talking about the third heaven? Or was it talking about the heaven on earth? Rulership. Watch. For I said in my heart, I will ascend into heaven. Let's prove which heaven this is. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. Stars were the tribes of Israel, because they were the possessors of heaven and earth. He says, I will set my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation. I will sit upon the mount of the congregation. Who is the congregation? The mount of the congregation. Who is the congregation? The mount of the congregation. You got to know who the congregation is. 1 Chronicles 28. Verse 8. Now therefore in the sight of all Israel, the congregation of the Lord. Ha! He's going to sit upon the mount of Israel. The Israel is the congregation. The mount of the congregation is Israel. He will sit upon that mountain. Now therefore in the sight of all Israel, the congregation of the Lord, and the audience of our God, keep and seek for all the commandments of the Lord your God, that ye may possess the good land and leave it for an inheritance for your children after you forever. So the congregation of the Lord is Israel. And that mount is what he's sitting on. So let's go back to Isaiah. Isaiah 14. Verse 13. For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. Those were the tribes of Israel. I will also sit upon the mount of the congregation. Watch. And the sides of the north. Let's see what the sides of the north was. The book of Psalms. What was the sides of the north? Psalms 48. Psalms 48 verse 1. Great is the Lord, and greatly to be praised in the city of our God, and the mountain of his holiness, beautiful for a situation, the joy of the whole earth, is Mount Zion, on the sides of the north, the city of the great king. So Zion, on the sides of the north. Beautiful for a situation. The joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion on the sides of the north, the city of the great king. So the sides of the north, Mount Zion on the sides of the north, the city of the great king. So we go back to Isaiah. I want you to just pay attention to that sides of the north. For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. Those were the tribes of Israel. I will also sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. What was the mount of the congregation on the sides of the north? Zion. Letting you know he will be in the land. This isn't talking about an angel taking over God's throne or rebelling against God. This is talking about the wicked ascending into heaven, which was possessed by Israel, exalting his throne above Israel. The stars of God is Israel, and I will sit upon he was sitting on the mount of the congregation, which was Israel, and the sides of the north, which is Zion. This is talking about the wicked ascending above Israel. That's what this is talking about. This is not talking about an angel going up trying to take the throne of God or rebelling against God. No, it's not. But watch. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High God. Do you know, brothers and sisters, this is a prophecy that says that this man will go above the clouds? How? How would he go above the clouds? Airplanes. Vehicles. If I've been in an airplane before, and brothers and sisters, when we're at that altitude, the clouds are below us. The only ones that should be up that high were the angels, which were in the clouds, and birds, possibly. But man is up above the clouds. But watch this. But thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. There it is. Thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. This is when they say that he went to hell, but we're going to show you what this is. When it says they shall be brought down to hell. What we want to do is we're going to show you. Now, hell is the sides of the pit. Hell is the sides of the pit. So I want to go to the book of Psalms 94. Let's talk. The hell is the pit now. So we're going to describe the pit. Just real quick. Psalms 94 and 12. Pay attention now. Blessed is the man whom the Lord chasteneth, O Lord. So blessed is the man whom thou chasteneth, O Lord, and teachest him out of thy law. So quickly, we need to understand this. This plays an important part for us here now. Blessed is the man whom thou chasteneth, O Lord, and teachest him out of thy law, that thou mayest give him rest from the days of adversity, which is tribulation, brothers and sisters. Adversity is tribulation. It's the same thing. Hold on. Here it is. I think this is it. No, this is not it. Hold on. Let me go back. Let me go back and look some more. Give me just a second. I thought I had this. It would have been synonyms for tribulation. I looked them up. I guess. Let me go back here. Well, that's not what I want. That thou mayest give him rest from the days of adversity, until the pit be digged for the wicked. The pit. The only one that's going to go down to the pit is the wicked. See there? That thou mayest give him rest from the days of adversity, which is tribulation. Look it up. See, it's adversity and tribulation synonyms. They'll be. Until the pit be digged for the sinners. Pit. Now we're going to look at this pit again. The book of Isaiah 24. Isaiah 24. Verse 21. Look at this. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. And they shall be gathered together, as prisoners are gathered in the pit. Pit. And shall be shut up in prison. And after many days shall they be visited. So when it says go into the pit, that's prison. In other words, slavery. That's why when you look at Revelation 20, it tells you that when you see that pit, Revelation 20 and 1. I want you to look at this. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key, of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, the old serpent, which is called the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. I kept the picture up there, brothers and sisters, is because when our forefathers painted this hundreds of years ago, they knew who God was going to put in a chain and put into the bottomless pit. Who do these people look like that's on the chain? Esau. That was the great red dragon, Satan. They know. Of course they do, and so do we. But they try to make it, no. Look at this. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key to the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon. The dragon was Edom, the old serpent, which is the devil, and Satan. He's both of them. The dragon is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. They shall be put in the pit many days. That's what that meant. That's Isaiah 24:22. And cast him, the dragon, which was Edom, into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal over him. He became a slave, that he should deceive the nations no more, till 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed for a season. That bottomless pit that he's put down in is slavery. You saw it. Chains. So when it says in Isaiah, because you guys got to understand. Let's look at this. When you're reading about hell, Proverbs 27, verse 20. When you're reading about hell, you have to go and understand every verse about hell. They'll have you thinking hell is below the ground in a place where the spirits are. No. Hell and destruction are never full. Look at this. Hell and destruction are never full. So the eyes of man are never satisfied, because the eyes of man looks upon hell. He causes hell. We've got to teach you about hell again, brothers and sisters. We will. Hell has nothing to do with a fire pit up underneath with the devil and his angels. Man causes hell. That's why it says in Habakkuk. Y'all, you're thinking of this hell as a place. No. Look around you. Look at a man. Look at the world. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell. The man causes hell, and it is as death. He causes death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Who does this? The United States of America. He is that great dragon, Edom. And he causes hell and is his death. Death and hell. And again, Isaiah 5. Isaiah 5, we got to look at this now, because everybody want to think hell's the this and the that. No. Therefore, my people are gone into captivity. Captivity, because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. Therefore, hell has enlarged herself, and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory, and their multitude, and their pomp, which is their habitation. And he that rejoiceth shall descendeth into it. That's the hell. Descendeth into hell. But what was hell? Captivity. Notice the parable talk. Captivity is the hell that they descended, this went down into. Descended. So when they went down into hell, it was captivity. That's all it was. Slavery. The Bible is a reality, brothers and sisters, not a fairy tale. So when we look at Isaiah 14 and 15, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. The pit is slavery. That's why, again, we're going to do this in Isaiah 24:22. Isaiah 24:22, once again. The Bible is going to be his own witness if they won't. And they shall be gathered together, the kings of the earth, as prisoners are gathered in a pit. Like it says in Revelation, a pit, and shall be shut up in prison. The pit is prison. The pit is prison. The pit is prison. People. And they shall be gathered together, as prisoners are gathered in a pit, and shall be shut up in prison. Prison. And after many days shall they be visited. The pit is prison, not some fiery place. Underground with spirits. These Christians, man, this is how many people have died believing that crap. And it's all because of the Caucasian race, Edomites. They brought that out. The pit is just prison. Back to Isaiah 14. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. The pit is prison. Your power is gone. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, and consider thee, saying, is this the man? It was never talking about a spirit. It was talking about the man the whole time. The wicked. Is this the man? Is this the man? Is this the man? Man. Man. It was never talking about an angel. It was talking about a man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms. Man. Man. The light bearer, look, is this the man? How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? How have thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? And they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, and consider thee, saying, is this the man? So Lucifer was a man, a kingdom, like we've been telling you. And the heaven that he fell from was rulership. And the reason why he was the son of the morning is because he had the power. And he was cut down to the ground, meaning his power was taken away. That did us weaken the nations. The heaven he fell from was not the third heaven where God was. The heaven that Lucifer fell from, which was the wicked, which was a man, was power. This is a prophecy about Babylon now. Look at this. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee. They'll see now and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble and did shake kingdoms? Watch. That made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. Who was his prisoners? Who was his prisoners? Isaiah 61 and 1. Isaiah 61 and 1. The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. Pay attention to this verse, the book of Luke chapter 4. Christ is going to say the same thing. Luke 4. Luke 4, verse 17. And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah, or Isaiah. And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance unto the captives, which were the prisoners, the slaves, and recovering of sight to the blind, and to set liberty them that are bruised. Now, to preach the acceptable year of the Lord. Question, brothers and sisters, question. When we go back to Isaiah, because Christ read this to preach the acceptable year of the Lord. But notice Christ stopped there. Why? Isaiah 61 verse 1. He's quoting Isaiah 61. The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord, and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all that mourn. Why didn't Christ say it all? Because what you have to understand is that they were being ruled over by Rome. Any talk of the kingdom being overthrown, they would have been cast into prison. See, it changed, brothers and sisters, when it came to that. That's why. To appoint to them that mourn in Zion. So the prisoner up in verse 1 was Zion. Israel was the prisoner. Israel was the prisoner. And they were the prisoner at that time of these people here, Romans. Israel was the prisoner. So the prisoner, let's go back to Isaiah. See, this is something, brothers and sisters, you have to pay close attention to, because these Christians have tried to, I would say Caucasian Christians have tried to eliminate themselves from being the people of the devil by creating scenarios about God fighting with his own creation in heaven. No. It says that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. His prisoners was Israelites. Watch this. All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house, in his own nation. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with the sword, that go down to the stones of the pit. Again, the pit as a carcass trodden under feet. Look at what's going on. And thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people, the seed of evildoers. A seed of evildoers shall not be renowned. Seed, men. Is it talking about no angels? Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. They do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. So prepare slaughter for his children. Whose children? Who are we preparing slaughter for? The book of Obadiah. Whose children? Obadiah 1 and 8. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. Slaughter. For the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. It's too late, brothers. This is going to happen. But that's who's going to be cut off by slaughter. Yes. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Watch this. And Babylon shall become heaps. Now Babylon didn't become heaps in the time of the old Babylon. It just switched kingdoms. But let's look at this Babylon. Psalms 137. There's only one other Babylon, brothers and sisters. They can't change it. There's only one other Babylon. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom, and the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee, as thou hast served us. So Edom is Babylon part 2, which is the daughter of Babylon. Edom is also Babylon. Remember, the children of Edom. O daughter of Babylon. So they're the second Babylon. Edom is referred to as Babylon. Remember that. So when we go back to Jeremiah 51, Jeremiah 51, verse 37, and Babylon shall become heaps, a dwelling place for dragons, and astonishment, and a hissing without an inhabitation, or without inhabitant. They shall roar together like lions. They shall yell as lions' whelps. In their heat I will make their feast, and I will make them drunken, that they may rejoice and sleep a perpetual sleep, and not wake, saith the Lord. I will bring them down like lambs to the slaughter, like rams with he goats. See, again, the slaughter is going to happen to Babylon. Now, see, we have Christians out here that say, because when we go here, they say, well, when it says in verse 21, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. Wait a minute. It says, nah, it don't. No. Children won't pay for their father's sins. You know what they base this off of? Ezekiel 18:19. I want you guys to see what they base this off of. Ezekiel 18. Verse 19. Yes, say ye, why doth not the son bear the iniquity of the father? When the son hath done that which is lawful and right. That's it. See, that's what they miss. Which is lawful and right. There is no Caucasian right now doing that which is lawful and right, or we would have had reparations, our own land, war equipment. We would have been truly freed. We're still slaves up under them, and we still have not been freed by the Caucasians truly. So they're not doing that which is lawful and right. They keep Sunday, Easter, Christmas, everyday dog day, nothing about the law or God's law in this nation. So Christians, y'all can't apply this to yourselves. You don't do that which is lawful and right. You're still sinners like your fathers. And have kept all my statutes and have done them, he shall surely live. The way, when it says, why ye say, why doth not the son bear the iniquity of the father? The reason he will not bear the iniquity of the father is because he's going to do that which is lawful and right. That's how he's not going to bear the iniquity of the father. Their children, Caucasian children, do the same sin as their father, lying in the same law to destroy the children of Israel. That's why it says in Psalms 94, we're very aware. We're very aware. Psalms 94. Verse 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law, which frameth sin and evil by a law? That's what the United States do. They frame evil by law. They bring evil into law. And guess who suffers for it? The true children of Israel. It's always going to be meant that way until Christ comes to get his true children. But I want to go back again to 1 Samuel. Something's wrong here because 1 Samuel, if that were true, brothers and sisters, let's look at 1 Samuel 15. I know 1 Samuel 15 and 1. Samuel also said unto Saul, the Lord sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Now, brothers and sisters, all right, now we're going to do this. I think it's in 1 Kings 6. I'm not sure. 1 Kings 6. 1 Kings 6 and 1. And it came to pass in the 480th year after the children of Israel will come out of the land of Egypt, and the fourth year of Solomon's reign over Egypt. And wait a minute, let me read that again. And it came to pass in the 480th year after the children of Israel will come out of the land of Egypt. In the fourth year of Solomon's reign over Israel, in the Mount Ziph, which is the second month, the month of Ziph, in the month Ziph, which is the second month, that he began to build a house of the Lord. Sorry about that. I just struggled through that. But I wanted to show you. And it came to pass after the 480th year. So Solomon started to rule 476 years after Israel came out of Egypt. So take 40 years away from that, because David reigned for 40 years. David reigned for 40 years. And you would have 436 years. Take 40 years from that, you will have 396 years. So 396 years after Israel came out of Egypt, 1 Samuel. Because this, when Saul was first anointed king. So we're talking about 396 years. Look at this. Almost 400 years. 1 Samuel. Verse 15 and 2. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel. Almost 400 years, 396 years earlier. How he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Wait a minute. So the Lord remembers something that happened almost 400 years ago. The Lord remembers something from over 400 years ago that Amalek did to Israel. Watch. Now go and smite Amalek, and utterly destroy all that he hath, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. So the Lord can bring a judgment of the fathers up on their people 400 years after they committed the crime. These that God told Saul to kill had nothing to do with hurting Israel then. They wasn't hurting Israel then, but God brought back a sin that their fathers did almost 400 years earlier. Don't tell me that the children will not pay for the sins of the father. They will. It is proven. The Caucasian sits and say, oh, we're not going to pay for the sins of our father. We didn't do anything. Well, why is Amalek right now in 1 Samuel 15 going to pay for the sins of their fathers that happened almost 400 years earlier? Tell us why. Tell us why God is making these people pay for their father's sins. Tell us why. That's all we want to tell. Tell us why God is doing this, since you know. Isaiah 14. We already know that you're going to pay for your father's sins. It's biblical. It's going to happen. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. They do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will raise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and look at this. For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name. It's talking about Babylon. Babylon was the son of the morning. Babylon was Lucifer, the bearer of light. And this Babylon is Edom. Because this didn't happen to the original Babylon. It did not. For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name, the remnant, and son and nephew, saith the Lord. They will pay for their sins. See, brothers and sisters, these Caucasians, they take the Bible and they blaspheme. And they do this because they're trying to hide themselves as a people. They want to put everything out there. Oh, the devil and God, Satan and God, but they are the devil. They have Satan on their right hand, and they're going to get their power taken away. They're going to get cast down, and every one of them shall be cut off in the slaughter. It's not something we're teaching. We figured this out to warn our people that danger is coming. See, they didn't want you to know. They wanted to keep people rolling over in the death. They cast out drugs, pharmaceutical drugs to kill you, which has killed almost, I would say this, Christianity as a religion and as a belief has killed more than war, guns, drugs, fake food that they serve us, all combined. You can combine it all. Christianity has killed more and set up twice as much as all of them combined for the lake of fire in Revelation 20. 12 down. Christianity has killed the most. We're talking about billions, folk. Billions. Not just with war, but with deception. And there's a price to pay. That's the bottom line. This here, brothers and sisters, this is what when there's things like this coming out, and these, remember I told you, these middle-aged white men, they're all up, oh, when Lucifer got kicked out of heaven, this the third of the angels, and you're looking at them with the bald spot in their head and glasses on, and you think they know something. No, they don't. They don't know anything but how to lie, because they're trying to hide themselves. That's why it says, let's go back up to the Bible. That's why it says in Jeremiah. Oh, brothers and sisters, sorry about that. Hit a quick key, but it's the right picture. And our black pastors, they're there to do it. I guess it was right. Because our black pastors, they're shaking their hand, agrees with that crap they're teaching. That's why in Jeremiah. Jeremiah 49. Verse 10. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. See, he cannot hide himself anymore. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not. The he is not means his kingdom is going to end. Doesn't mean he's not existing anymore. See, God said, I have made him bare. He's not going to be able to hide himself because he's been trying to hide himself behind his theology the whole time by making you think that the devils, which are angels, the evil angels, are with war against God. His own creation, the angels with power, are warring against him. And he kicked them down into, no. The great red dragon, Revelation 12. This is how they put these things together. Revelation 12, verse 3. And another wonder appeared in heaven. Which heaven? You got to think. And behold, a great red dragon. The red dragon is Esau, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. The great red dragon is Esau. The dragon is a power. Ezekiel 29:3. The great dragon. It's not talking about an angel. It's talking about a people. Now, and there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, the red dragon. And the dragon fought with his angels, his warriors, his foot soldiers, the army, navy, air force, marines. Those were his angels. Michael didn't fight against a spirit. He fought against a dragon, the great red dragon, which was a power, which was Esau. That's why it was the red dragon. You guys can't be fooled. Red dragon, Esau, red all over like a hairy garment. Genesis 25:25. The war, when Christ comes out of the sky, he's going to have a war with the people. He's going to destroy a people. Watch this. The dragon is the great red dragon, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. His rulership was gone. It's not talking about the heaven where God dwells. The heaven is talking about his rulership. It's the same thing that was in Isaiah 14:12. See, they try to put these things together to make it seem like a spirit is going to be cast. No, it is Esau that's going to be cast out of power. The red dragon. See, he tried to hide himself with this, a name traditionally in Christianity. So a name traditional, in Christianity for the leader of the devils. What that mean, the leader of the devils? Satan was all one counted with his spirits. An angel who was cast down from heaven to hell because he rebelled against God. When did you see the rebellion? You saw man rebel. Man rebelled, but you never saw the serpent, the devil, as a spirit. You never saw him rebel nowhere. Where'd you see it? Satan was the hand of God. Come on now. This is a fictitious story meant to fool people. Lucifer is usually identified with Satan. The name Lucifer, which means bearer of light or morning star, those with power, refers to his former, look at this, splendor as the greatest of the angels. And he was not the greatest of the angels. He was not. See, that's what lets us know these people are lying. The greatest of the angels the book of Genesis, chapter 48. Verse 16. The angel, notice, brothers and sisters, this angel is with a capital A. And we're going to go into this. The angel which redeemed. Where is it written that angels can redeem? I thought God was the only one that can redeem me from all evil. The angel that redeemed him from all evil was in Genesis 32:13. Who is that angel that was called God that redeemed him? Christ. Christ was the chief angel. That's why it's with a capital A. That's why when you see look at this, Exodus (23). Exodus 23:20. Behold, I send an angel, capital A, before thee to keep thee in the way, to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. Who did this? Christ. Christ led them. 1 Corinthians 10. Beware of him and obey his voice. Obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. So we know that God is the only one that can redeem and pardon transgressions. But we see the angel redeeming and pardon transgressions. Who is this special angel that's top of all the angels? Christ. We know. That's why I want you to pay attention. It says, now, verse 23, because I want you to catch this. For my angel shall go before thee and bring thee in unto the Amorites and the Hittites and the Perizzites, Perizzites, and the Canaanites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. So now, I want you to pay attention to this one more time. For my angel shall go before thee and bring thee into the Amorites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Canaanites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. Let's go to the book of Exodus 34. Remember, for my angel shall go before thee and bring thee in unto the Amorites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Canaanites and Hivites and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. The book of Exodus 34 and 9. Let's see who did this. Exodus 34 and 9. Let's see who did this. This is going to show you who that angel was. Exodus 34 and 9. And he said, if now I have found grace in thy sight, O Lord, let my Lord, I pray thee, go among us, for it is a stiff-necked people, and pardon our iniquity and our sins, and take us for thine inheritance. And he said, behold, I will make a covenant for all thy people. I will do marvels, such as have not been done in all the earth, nor in any nation. And all the people among which thou art shall see the work of the Lord, for it is a terrible thing that I will do with thee. Look at this. Observe thou that which this Lord I command thee this day. Behold, I will drive out all the Amorites. I will drive out before thee the Amorites, and the Canaanites and the Hivites and the Perizzite and the Hivite and the Jebusite. Same thing. He was that angel, the Lord. If you understand, this who drove him out. Observe thou that which I command thee this day. Behold, I will drive out before thee the Amorite and the Canaanite and the Hittite and the Perizzite and the Hivite and the Jebusite. Who would do this? The Lord, up in verse 9, because he was that angel. He was the angel that was going to drive him out. Christ was the chief of all God's creation. That's why it says in the book of Revelation. People understand Revelation 3:14. We know what we're talking about. We have the clues that led us to it. And unto the angel of the church of the Laodiceans write, these things saith the Amen, the faithful and true witness, the beginning of the creation of God. Christ is the beginning of the creation of God. The first, the chief. It wasn't Satan. See, these Christians, if there's no way. But if you don't know, you don't know. This here, brother, all this is fictitious. All this is fictitious. The only one that is called that's why Christians be like, well, I'm confused because, and they were even calling Christ because of this right here. Remember, morning star. Let's look at Revelation 22. Look at this now, Revelation 22. Verse 16. Look at this. I, the Messiah, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star. See, Christ was the morning star. So many people get confused and say, well, that means Christ is the devil. No, he wasn't. He was an angel, the chief of God's angels. He was God himself. He was the morning star. But the Christians fabricated a story of a battle in heaven and Satan, the wicked, being the bright morning star. They fabricated that. Christ was the bright morning star because he was the chief angel with capital A, that's able to redeem and to forgive sin. There was no other chief angel besides him. But look at what they say. Named traditionally in Christianity for the leader of the devils. The leader of the devils is God. He's the one that controlled them. You saw it. An angel who was cast from heaven to hell because he rebelled against that. That's fictitious. Fictitious. All the way. All of this is fictitious. Esau has hid himself behind a fictitious story to make you think the devil, the spirit, is causing all the chaos when he is. And with that, brothers and sisters, may God be with you. Let us come out of this thing called Christianity. All it is a fabricated religion to deceive and get many of our people thrown into the lake of fire. So let us band together, brothers and sisters, against things like this, because our people are trapped in it. And that's sad. Read the Bible. Never stop. All praises.